Coming up on this episode of The Power of Real Estate.
People take it personally, and sometimes the no it has nothing to do with you. Regardless, it's like, okay, well, are you changing or are you still in the same place that you were last year?
Michelle, you ready?
Nails done? Check. Hair done? Check. Yeah, I'm ready.
Standing by in 3, 2, 1. She spent over 20 years as a successful realtor and realtor coach, recipient of over 40 sales, leadership, and literary awards from the legendary Music Row in Nashville. This is The Power of Real Estate with Michelle Moore.
Hello, hello, hello. All right, well, I'm in the studio today, and I'm with the one and only producer Jimmy.
Wow, pump me up. Do it. I love it. Love it.
I think, you know what? I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to change. I want you to be a little bit more enthusiastic in my intros. I want you to be like the one, the only, Michelle.
The incomparable Michelle Moore.
Your voice is
One
so
night only. One podcast only. In a world where Michelle Moore has a podcast. Sorry about that.
And all your dreams have come true because Michelle does. All right, so today we're going to be talking about something that I learned from one of the smartest people that I've ever met. And so, and producer Jimmy, I know what you're thinking. What have I taught you?
Were you looking in the mirror when you met that person?
No, I thought you were going to say,
Oh.
what have I taught you, oh young one?
Yeah.
All right, you're one of the smartest people, but not what the podcast is about today.
I'll take that as a compliment there.
You know what? I tell you what, we're going to do a podcast episode coming up, and I want you to share some of, because people don't even realize, like, we haven't shared about your background in marketing, and you have got to share a couple of marketing tips, like 3 marketing tips, because you know what I mean, like in an upcoming podcast. So
Sure.
we're going to do that.
Okay.
It was a promise to the listeners.
Let me back up a minute, though. I was going to jump in with something, and the time has really passed, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
I have been called smart many times in my life, but it's usually followed by 3 more letters and a word that starts with an A.
Oh, really? I wouldn't have guessed.
Or it could be Alec, but I don't know how to spell that. So.
Today we're going to talk about a lesson that I learned from one of the smartest people that I've ever met. So here it is. And I have come to realize that it's so true. So I had a friend that actually I was friends with his wife as well. He actually became a client. He became an investor and with another guy, and I ended up doing a lot of business with them. But one of the things that he did was we were at dinner, my husband and his wife and he and I were at dinner, and I remember him saying he ran a manufacturing company, wrote patents, like all different kinds of stuff, very intelligent person. But I remember at dinner one time he said to me, look, I would take my biggest competitor and I would walk them through my plants and, tell them all my manufacturing secrets and all my best tips and all, what I've learned, and tell them, all my best processes. And he said, I wouldn't have a single problem in the world to do that. I'd be more than happy to. And I looked at him and I said, what? Why in the world would you ever do something like that? Like, what?
Yeah.
And this was years ago. And he said, he looked at me straight in the face across the dinner table, dead serious. And he goes, people don't change. He said, I could call them a year from now. And he said, and the sad thing, amazing, but also sad, he said, is that I could ask them, what is it that you've implemented? How are things going? And they would tell you that they hadn't implemented a single thing. So I want to ask you, are you like that? Because, at the end of the day, are you not changing? Producer Jimmy, you were talking about earlier, before we started doing the show, you said, well, but change is what?
It's scary. It's uncomfortable. It's not your comfort zone. You have to go out and learn new things. And until you do, you're going to be nervous and you're going to be, stressed out. And then, it's all about repetition. Look at anybody, and I don't care if it's in business or, athletes, but when you're in the NFL, it's a good chance you've been playing football since you were 5. You didn't start in high school.
Yeah.
Very unlikely. It's just your whole life's work. And that's the case with so many of us. I've been in radio 30 years, started a job earlier this year, and half of which are things I've never done before. And I can't tell you what a wreck I was the first couple of months.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to know, what's my day look like? What am I going to have to do? My boss is going, look, I'm going to show you, I'm going to let you master something. I'm going to hand it off to you. And then we're going to go to the next thing. And he wouldn't show me what all I had to do because he didn't want to overwhelm me. And I didn't get it at the time. And then as I would master things, I would pick up the next thing and the next thing. And, 6 months later, I'm back in my comfort zone. But that's how you learn new things. You can't be afraid to branch out.
Yeah. But I think also one of the key things is what you just said. Well, I had a boss, in that position you have a boss. And so you also have, you're also a business owner as well. But this part of what you were going through had a boss. And so that boss, you were accountable. You had to do it.
Yeah.
It was a new position and, it was something that responsibilities that were being, given to you in that new position. But the bottom line is, but you had to do it. And I remember when you were going through that transition, you were stressed out and seeming overwhelmed. And because it wasn't that you couldn't do the job, it was just that it was new. And you're a high C personality type on the DISC profile, and a high C probably, I would say, has the hardest time with change. In my experiences, the people that I know, C personality types have the hardest time with change. And here's why. Because with a high C personality type, which is compliance on the DISC personality profile, their biggest fear in life, out of everything, their biggest fear in life is making a mistake. Yeah. And so when you're doing something new and you're covering new territory, it's that's tough. But here's what I would say also when people go, well, change is hard. Yes, it can be scary, but what makes it so hard? And so this is what I've been pondering. Change is hard because I believe of fear. Really, when people say change is hard, I think what's harder than anything about change is the fear of failure, the fear of looking like a fool, the fear of this, whatever those fears are. But they're fears, they're real fears. People won't close a deal because they, go for the close people on buying a home or selling a home or getting a listing, whatever, because of fear of rejection, which is extremely strong. Like, that if you can overcome the fear of rejection, which I was able to master that, early on, when I got my real estate license. And so I started recognizing, hey, this isn't about me. This isn't personal. It's not like I built this home. It's not like I picked the selections. It's not like I picked the floor plans that the company offers or, whatever. And so it's like, well, this isn't personal. Like, I had to logically get myself over all of that. But that took intentional time and effort to go, okay, this is not about me. It's not personal. It's not, if they don't buy from me, it's not about them not liking me or I did something wrong. And like, in no way was it about me. It's in fact the complete opposite. It was about them. And I genuinely want someone to find the right place to call home. And so if I genuinely want that, I remember thinking this to myself. It's like, well, if I genuinely want that, then, I'm going to be okay with this. Like there's going to be times they're not going to buy here. And that's okay if they find, so it's not personal. And so that's the thing, rejection, people take it personally. And sometimes the no it has nothing to do with you. Regardless, it's like, okay, well, are you changing or are you still in the same place that you were last year or 6 months ago or whatever? And it's a lot of times it's because I could tell you all the secrets in every single podcast of success and what you need to do, but have you implemented any of it? Because at the end of the day, you can get all the classes and all the learning and listen to all the podcasts and read all the books and do all the stuff and get all the designations and licenses and all that stuff. But if you don't take the action, then you can forget it. It's just not going to happen. I thought, man, that's a lesson that I learned from one of the smartest people I've ever met.
That's a good lesson.
Yeah. And that is, most people, you can tell them all the secrets, give them all the stuff. So this is one of those tough love podcast episodes. It's like, are you one of those people? Or do you change? Like, do you take action when you hear something that's like, oh, I could really implement that, or, oh, that's a really good idea? Do you take action? I talked with an agent months ago and told that agent she was getting her license. And I said, here's what you need to do. You need to make a database and you need to do this and do that. And, before you even get licensed, like I tell a lot of people that call me and say, hey, I'm thinking about getting my real estate license. What kind of advice do you have? And I'm like, while you're in real estate school, in fact, before you even get in class, if you've already scheduled to take the classes and it's 2 weeks out, you got to get to work. Early bird gets the worm. Well, it's not just at the time of the day. It can be a couple of weeks early. And so what you can do is start making, get your database up and running. Make sure that you make those changes when you get good ideas and things that can happen for your business. So, all right, well, we'll see you next time on The Power of Real Estate. And if you're not getting enough of Michelle, like this wasn't enough, you can always go to realestatecoachingsimplified.com and get a free copy, except for you just got to pay for the shipping and handling, which is $4.95. You can get a free copy of my award-winning book, Selling Simplified, 55 Fast Tips to Jumpstart Your Real Estate Business. All right, we'll see you next time right here on The Power of Real Estate.
Realtors, if you're ready to jumpstart your business, Michelle has your realtor coaching covered at realestatecoachingsimplified.com. Everything from coaching online teachings to in-person programs. Join us next time for The Power of Real Estate with Michelle Moore.